Hi and welcome to Candyfloss Crochet. Today I'm going to show you the iris stitch. So this is a super simple stitch. It works up really quickly. The only stitch you need to know apart from a foundation chain and a normal chain is a UK treble. And as you see, it's quite effective, quite pretty, nice straight edges on it. I think this will work up beautifully as a scarf or a blanket project with a nice border around the edge. So I'm going to show you how to do this one. It's quite straightforward, as I said, so let's get cracking with it. What I'm going to use today is a 4mm hook. You'll need your scissors if you're going to snip off any ends. And the yarn I'm using today is Deramores Studio Anti-Pride in DK, and the colour is Peony. Okay, so let's get started. Now with this stitch, you start off with your foundation chain and you're working your foundation chain in multiples of 4. So start off with your slip knot in any way that you would normally work that, and work up a multiples of 4. So I'm going to work up 20 chains. So to do your chain, yarn over, take hold of the knot at the bottom and just pull over the top. Yarn over again, pull over, yarn over again, pull over, yarn over, pull over. And as you can see, as I'm creating my chains, I'm working my thumb and finger up the chain just to keep the tension. Excuse me. What you'll find is if you don't keep your tension in place, then your chains will become inconsistent in size, and you want them all to be more or less the same size. Otherwise, when you get to the bottom here, this bottom edge, they will be baggy. So work up 20. For the sample I'm doing today, I'm going to do 20, but whichever size you want to do, work up in multiples of 4. Add an extra 1. And then add an extra 2 for that foundation chain. So it's multiples of 4 plus 1 plus 2. Okay, so I'll leave you there. Join me back when you've worked up enough chains to start your work. Okay, so you should now have worked up your chain to your desired length. So remember, it's multiples of 4 plus 1 plus 2. So I've worked up a chain of 23. And the first stitch you're going to work is a UK treble, and you're going to work it into the 5th chain from the hook. So when you're counting your chains from the hook, you never count the one that's on your hook. So this is your first one, second, third, fourth and 5th. So we're going to work a UK treble. So let me count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going into this one here. So to do UK treble, you yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops left, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Do that again into the same space. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I want you to chain 1, going back into that same space, work another 2 trebles. So that's 1, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's your first set of clusters created. You're now going to chain, miss 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and repeat again. So UK treble into this one, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through. That's 1, 2, chain 1, 2 more trebles into the same space. So you're creating a fan, but with a gap in between. Okay, so this is how your work should be looking at the moment. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you're working the same again. 2 trebles, a chain 1, and 2 more trebles. Oops, missed that end bit. Now we've got 3 sets of fans on there. So work all the way along to the end of your work, and then join me when you get to the end and we will talk about how we finish this row and start the next one. Okay, so you should have worked all the way along and created your little clusters of treble stitches with a chain 1 in between, and you should be left, if your count's correct, with 2 chains left. You're going to skip 1 chain and work a treble into the last chain. Might need to pull your knot. As you can see, mine's got quite big. Just pull that knot to tighten it up. Chain 3 and turn, and that's row 1 completed. We are now going to work our next row, and from now on the rows will be exactly the same as you go along. So you're going to skip all your stitches and you're going to find that chain 1 space, and you're going to work the pattern all over again. So you're going to do 2 trebles, a chain 1 and 2 trebles into that chain 1 space between the fans. So not this gap here, in between there, you're going in between the 2 sets of trebles that you did before in that chain 1 space. So we could treble into that one again, in that one again, chain 1, another treble, and the last treble. So it's 4 trebles divided by a chain 1 space. Jump straight across to the next cluster or fan, whichever way you want to look at it, of trebles, and you're going into this chain 1 space again, and you're going to do 2 trebles, a chain 1, 2 trebles. That's 1, 2, chain 1, and the next 2, 1 and 2. Skip across to your next cluster, go find the chain 1 space in between, 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles. Chain 1 and another 2 trebles into that space. All in the same space. You're not doing any chains after you've done the trebles, you're just jumping straight across into the next fan, into the chain 1 space, 2 trebles. That's 1, 2, chain 1, and then your next 2, 1, 2. Skip to your last fan now, so you're on your last one. Remember, you've got your chain 3 at the end here, so you're going into this space here, 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 trebles, and you're at the end of your row. So you've got your 2 trebles left, which is half of the fan from the row below, and you've got your chain 3, which we turned on. So in this one, you just want to finish off the end of the row with a treble into the top of that chain 3 stitch. So yarn over as normal, find the top of that stitch and work your last treble into that end there, which straightens up that end. So that's the end of row 2. Pull my work out so you can see. As you can see, it starts to build up really quickly. So we're on to row 3, and you're going to just repeat this all the way along. So you start off with a chain 3, turn your work, you're going to find that gap between the trebles, the chain 1 space between the 2 sets of trebles that you did in the previous round, and you're going to work 2 trebles. That's 1, 2, a chain 1, another 2 trebles, all into that chain 1 space. Jump straight across to the next fan, find that chain 1 space, 2 trebles, chain 1, pull my yarn, I'm losing it, another treble, my 4th treble in this little group, jump straight across to the next one, 2 trebles, In America they're called a double crochet. Chain 1, 2 trebles. Got 2 more to go, so I'm going to work all the way to the end with you. So over to, sorry I didn't show you, did I? So I'm skipping this gap here. I'm going straight across to the middle of my fan that I created in the previous round. I'm going to work 2 trebles, a chain 1 and 2 more trebles. Last fan, last chain 1 space of my row, 2 trebles, chain 1, 2 more trebles, and we've come to the end of our row. We've come to our chain 3 space from our previous round, and you're going to work a treble into the top of that chain 3 space. And that finishes off your next row. Pull the end up. As I straighten out, you can see it works up really quickly. Your next round, you're going to chain 3, you're going to turn your work, and you can continue working 2 trebles, a chain 1 and 2 trebles, exactly like every row before, into that chain 1 space in the middle of your fans all the way along. It comes up with quite a nice straight edge, so I think it would make a perfect scarf, but it's one of my favorites and one of the easiest, quite pretty elegant pattern, and that's the iris stitch. So that's the end of this tutorial. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up at the bottom of the video. It helps me understand the types of videos that you like. And if you want to leave me a comment, if you've got any suggestions or any requests for any other stitches that you want a tutorial on, then please leave me a comment in the box below. Please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell, and that way you'll get to see all my new videos as and when I launch them. So thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.